Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into something pretty heavy.
Yeah, definitely.
We're looking at a source called The Arrogance of Meaning, a meditation on cosmic indifference by Shashwata Bhattacharjee. It's challenging.
It really is. It pushes back hard against a lot of standard existential thinking.
So if you've ever felt that pressure, to find your big purpose, this deep dive might feel clarifying, maybe a bit unsettling too.
Unsettling is probably a good word for it.
The author really makes us face this anti-existentialist view, questions whether anything we do or know or even are matters on a cosmic scale.
Right. So our mission today is basically to pull out the core arguments, the really potent claims from this text about cosmic indifference.
What does it actually mean?
Well, the author argues that human consciousness gets things fundamentally wrong about its place. We think we're significant, but maybe we aren't.
Okay.
The universe was here for billions of years without us. Why would our sudden arrival give it meaning? That's the question. We need to unpack that and the analogies used.
And that key tension you mentioned.
Yeah, the idea that we might be performing a play no one is watching. That's the heart of it.
Okay, let's dig in. You mentioned scale. The source starts there, right, with time.
Yeah.
Crushing our sense of importance.
Exactly. The temporal delusion. The numbers themselves are kind of staggering when you think about it.
Yes, the stats.
Okay, so 13.8 billion years for the universe. And humans, conscious humans like us, we show up in maybe the last 0.000001% of that time. It's tiny.
Just a blip.
A blip. And the author's point is like 99.99999% of everything that ever happened without anyone witnessing it, let alone finding meaning in it.
And yet we pop up at the very end and say, now it all makes sense. It was all leading to us.
It seems, well, arrogant, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From that perspective.
Yeah.
And the author says this delusion even creeps into how we think about science, our discoveries.
Okay, tell me about that. Discovery versus taxonomy. What's the difference here?
So taxonomy is just naming things, organizing them, putting labels on patterns we see. Discovery, in the way we usually mean it, implies uncovering some deeper truth or purpose behind the pattern.
Got it. And the author argues we're just doing taxonomy.
Pretty much. Take gravity, the example used in the source. Galaxies, black holes, they were all interacting via gravity for billions, literally billions of years.
Long before Newton came along.
Exactly. The universe didn't, pause and wait for him to write down the equation. He just described what was already happening, indifferently happening.
So we didn't find a cosmic rulebook. We just made a really good index for the indifferent processes we saw.
That's the argument. Our knowledge is this amazing organizational system, but we mistake it for the underlying truth or reason. The universe doesn't care that you know how it works. It worked before you knew, and it'll keep working after we're gone.
We're just archivists, recording data.
In a library with no other readers, essentially, according to this view.
Okay, wow. So if our knowledge is just local record keeping, what about our actual existence, our bodies? This gets into the violence of form, right? That sounds intense.
It is intense. The idea is that being a specific thing, having a form, is actually a kind of imposition, a limitation.
How so?
Well, think about the atoms that make you up. Before you were conceived, they were just out there, part of everything. Universal, no needs, no specific identity. Birth, in this view, is something you did not consent to. These scattered and different bits of matter get forced together into this very specific temporary pattern. You.
And the source calls this being condemned to be you? That's incredibly bleak.
It is bleak, because being you means having limits, having needs. Before you were formed, those atoms didn't need food or shelter or fear predators. Now they do, because they're part of you.
So existence itself is a burden.
It's framed that way. Every living thing is fighting entropy, trying to maintain its form, using energy constantly just to stay coherent. It's an impossible task in the long run.
Just delaying the inevitable return to being scattered and indifferent.
That's the perspective. Your life is this complicated, energetic detour on the way back to that state.
And this leads to that really difficult view on having children.
Yeah, it's probably the most controversial part. Reproduction is described as imposition of burden onto that which cannot consent.
Because you're forcing awareness and needs onto matter that didn't ask for it.
Right, leading to the claim that every parent is an architect of suffering.
Okay, hold on. That feels like a huge jump, calling every parent an architect of suffering. Surely that's reading too much into it. Isn't that more of a personal, maybe even cynical take rather than just philosophy?
Well, the source defends it purely on a functional biological level,
Mm.
stripping out the emotion we usually attach. It acknowledges parents act from love, absolutely, but the result, biologically, is creating a being that will experience need, loss, and pain, suffering inevitably, since the universe provides no inherent meaning or justification for that suffering.
The act itself is seen as philosophically problematic, a kind of violation.
Exactly. It ignores the usual narratives about legacy or joy and just looks at the raw mechanics. You extended the biological burden. It's deliberately unsentimental.
Which definitely sets us up for the next bit, the narcissism of significance. Our tendency to think we're really important.
Oh, yeah. We love that idea, don't we? We are the universe becoming conscious of itself. Sounds grand.
But this perspective just rips that apart.
Completely.
Yeah.
Consciousness isn't the universe waking up. The source calls it a local phenomenon, a brief chemical storm inside your brain.
Just chemistry, an accident.
An evolutionary accident that happened to help us survive. It's advantageous, so it's stuck around. But we're just mistaking our interior weather for cosmic significance.
Our thoughts, feelings, epiphanies, just brain chemistry playing out.
According to this, yes. That feeling of profundity when you have a great idea, that's just the chemical storm reinforcing itself. The universe itself doesn't have any preference about your thoughts.
It links to how we are now, doesn't it? Always broadcasting our inner state, seeking validation online, treating our interior weather like it's headline news.
That's a great connection. It is the narcissism described. You feel something intensely because of neuron firings shaped by evolution for survival, not truth. And you assume that intensity must mean something universally.
The source has that analogy, right, to drive it home about bacteria.
Yeah, the Petri dish one. It's memorable. Humans are like bacteria in a Petri dish who have developed culture and philosophy.
Okay.
And these bacteria are totally convinced that the patterns their colonies make are, messages from God or proof of their grand purpose.
While the scientist...
The scientist, the cosmos, isn't watching and wouldn't care if they were. Whether the bacteria find enlightenment or wipe themselves out, it just doesn't matter to the lab environment. Total indifference.
Right out. Okay. So that leads to the big paradox then. If none of it matters, if consciousness is just this local storm, why do we care so much? Why bother? Why did the author even write this book?
Yes. The cage. That's what the source calls it.
The cage.
It's the biological trap. Even when your intellect fully gets the meaninglessness, the indifference, you can't stop acting like things matter. You're condemned to act as though it's meaningful, even when we know it's not.
Why? What forces us?
Your fundamental biology, your psychology. You can accept cosmic indifference intellectually, maybe, but you're still hardwired to want pleasure, avoid pain. You'll still flinch if something comes at your face.
You'll still eat, sleep, seek connection.
Exactly. Your brain's survival mechanisms override the philosophical understanding. That's the cage. Knowing it's futile, but being biologically forced to keep playing the game anyway.
Which makes every system of meaning we create. Philosophy, religion, ideology, just ways to cope.
Elaborate coping mechanisms, that's the term used. Protective shells we build around this truth because facing it directly is, well, maybe psychologically unbearable for a creature like us.
We're significance-generating machines. We can't help it.
We need frameworks.
Yeah.
We need to organize and prioritize. So we build these systems, religious, political, personal, as shields against that cold, indifferent reality.
So the challenge to you, listening, you've heard the argument now, that everything is ultimately without cosmic significance. Does knowing that actually change anything about how you'll live tomorrow?
And the source's rather bleak answer is no. And that's the darkest joke of all.
The biology wins.
The imperative to live and strive seems to be stronger than the intellectual grasp of futility. You know the score is 0, but you keep playing.
And this game, it has an end, doesn't it? The source talks about extinction. The extinction no one will mourn.
Yeah, it emphasizes the sheer non-event of our disappearance. When humans are gone, war, climate, asteroid, the sun expanding, whatever.
There's no one left to care.
No one to say, wow, humanity really mattered. Our entire history, all our achievements and suffering just dissolves, like forgetting a dream. No cosmic historian is taking notes.
Okay, so here we are. Knowing this apparent cosmic irrelevance, does the source offer any way to live with that? Besides just building coping mechanisms, it mentions living in the wound.
Right. Most people build those defenses, legacy, purpose, belief systems. But for someone who wants to be intellectually honest, to really stare into the void, there's a different path suggested.
Which is?
It involves recognizing that any meaning you create from this point on is completely utterly arbitrary. You can't stop caring, because of the cage, but you can choose what to care about while knowing its value is purely provisional, self-assigned.
So you don't pretend the universe endorses your values.
Exactly. You strip away that comforting illusion of external validation. You can still feel joy or practice compassion or pursue knowledge.
You do it knowing it's like a temporary shelter you've built in a storm.
Yes. You value things because you choose to, for now, not because they have some inherent cosmic weight.
That sounds incredibly lonely in a way.
It is. Utterly alone in your meaning-making. That's the phrase. But it's presented as the price of honesty. It turns meaning from something you find into something you create, like art. Temporary, maybe, but your own invention.
So, wrapping this up, what's a final takeaway? The source says the real arrogance isn't thinking we matter.
It's thinking that mattering itself is even a valid category to apply to the universe.
A category error, like asking.
What color is mathematics? The question doesn't make sense because significance, mattering, purpose, these are human concepts, tools we invented for our experience.
The universe just runs on physics and chemistry. Reasons, but not a reason.
The chemical reasons, biological reasons, evolutionary reasons.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. Not because of some grand cosmic purpose waiting for us.
So we're stuck. We're biological meaning-making machines.
Churning out significance in a universe that doesn't need it or supply it.
Yeah.
And you can't escape that biological drive. That's the cage.
You have to live with it.
You do. You'll care tomorrow. You'll strive for things. You'll love people. Knowing about cosmic indifference doesn't switch that off.
So the real question isn't if you'll care.
But how?
Yeah.
Will you care with the honest knowledge that the value is yours alone, that it's self-assigned?
Which leads to the final thought for you to consider. Knowing the universe doesn't care, what arbitrary, temporary shelter of meaning will you choose to build for yourself today?
Because you will build one. You have to. The universe, of course, is indifferent to your choice.
A challenging place to end. Thanks for digging deep into this with us. It's a lot to think about.
Definitely. Thanks for exploring it.